Hello, it's Catherine Maley, author of Your Aesthetic Practice, and I want to ask you a question. Who do you think you are? Who you think you are can be quite different than how you are perceived by your cosmetic patients. So bringing the two together to become congruent will get you better results. Now, most surgeons don't want to hear the negativity because they're already drowning in everyday problems as it is. While that is totally understandable, there is a cost to not knowing. We all know unhappy patients are all too excited to share their unhappiness with you via bad reviews. Now, one of the reasons this happens is because they don't feel heard and understood, so a patient survey can help. And for the one who complained, there are many more who didn't. They just went away, never to be seen or heard from again. But they're still most likely bad-mouthing you or telling their story every time the topic comes up with their friends and family. That very information can be what is stopping your growth. You don't know what you don't know, so a patient survey will enlighten you. And while you may think you already know the pitfalls of your practice, there are always a few things you are not aware of that are costing you patients. For example, a patient survey offers a quick path to discovering hidden issues, such as a rogue esthetician is hurting your patient retention, your office is in need of a cleanup and facelift, or the consultation process is turning patients off. Patient satisfaction surveys in your practice can give you exceptional insight into how to improve the patient experience and referral rates. It's easier than ever to conduct a survey, and it can be eye-opening and a big practice builder that becomes a cash surge to boot. What you learn from the survey will be invaluable to you, since whatever it is that needs improving is a lot cheaper to fix than losing revenues from patients and their referrals. So here are the steps to follow for a good patient survey. Step number 1 is who to ask. Now, you're looking for candor, not just from your fans who love you and forgive you for your missteps, but from everyone who has come in contact with your practice, good or bad. For example, those who came in for a consult and were never heard from again. Those who came in once for a small procedure and then never returned. And those who had a procedure but never came back for follow-up. Now, step number 2 is how to ask. Once again, technology has made it easier than ever to conduct a patient survey and get responses fast. There are many platforms available today, with SurveyMonkey being one of the most popular because they're so easy to use. You simply decide what questions to ask and then send it to your email list, and the platform compiles the responses and the feedback. Now here's step number 3. It is what to ask. Before you jump right in, you need to ensure your survey is equipped to provide helpful feedback in as few questions as possible. Now, above all, this means writing good questions that are focused and easy to understand. Here are a few sample survey questions that give you great feedback. Were the telephones answered professionally? Was it easy to make an appointment? This is important to know because if the caller doesn't have a good experience on the initial phone call, they're never even going to meet you and your staff. So you want to be sure this first step is handled. Another great question is, were you treated courteously by my staff? Patients might be satisfied with the appearance of your cosmetic practice, but if they don't have a good experience with your staff, they won't be back. Aesthetics is personal. Nobody needs cosmetic rejuvenation, so this is feel-good medicine. The cosmetic patient with a credit card is looking for a connection with the practice that makes them feel special and cared about. By the way, if the same staff person's name comes up more than 3 times in a negative way, it's time to either retrain that person in customer service or free them to work elsewhere where they're not hurting your practice. It's just too competitive to have to deal with staff that is not anything but professional, engaged, and eager to help you succeed, because the alternative is costing you a fortune in bad will and lost revenues. Another great question to ask is, would you refer your friends and family? Word-of-mouth referrals are the lifeblood of a cosmetic practice, but you won't get many if patients aren't happy with their overall experience. Patient surveys can be initiated as the patient is leaving your office or emailed to them later, or you can survey your entire email list once a year. The point is to find out how patients feel before it's too late and the damage is done. Want a free cosmetic patient survey? I'm happy to conduct a cosmetic patient survey for you to help you identify the practice gaps most affecting your bottom line. Just leave me a message at www.catherinemaley.com with your cell phone, and I'll get back to you shortly.